Thanks for joining us here on the Bearcats Sports Network. Time to talk football with McKendree head coach Mike Babcock. And coach, last week the Bearcats hosted Southwest Baptist in what became a very sloppy game in terms of the weather, rain throughout the ball game. Both teams doing a pretty good job of holding on to the football, only one turnover each way, but the Bearcats used their ground attack for a 24-14 victory. The defense stepped up big, especially in the second half. Talk about that team victory last week.
Well, it was definitely a team victory, but it was definitely a sloppy game. It was raining nonstop, and some hard rain a lot of times too. So, but at the end of the day, the guys found a way to win. I thought a lot of good things: offense, defense, special team, and like you said, at the end of the day, they found a way to win.
Jaden Mitchell stepped into a starting role last week. Had career highs with 133 yards, 27 carries, 2 touchdowns. Had some big runs, especially in the second half for McKendree.
When it's raining that hard, and it's hard to throw the ball, you got to rely on your run game a little bit. And I got to give my hat off to Southwest Baptist. I think they did some good things, defensively. But the good thing was having a redshirt freshman like Jaden Mitchell, kind of come in and be able to kind of take the load a little bit and be able to move the chains, and that's really what we needed to kind of get us through it.
Defense forced 3 fourth down stops for Southwest Baptist in that fourth quarter. Devon Miles, Rico Gibson among those leading the charge. But the Bearcats, when they needed a stop, especially in that final period, found a way to come up with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think once the backs were to the wall a little bit, I think they really stepped up. I think it took us a little bit to get going. I know our offense had a 3 and out, and then they drove down and scored a field goal. But honestly, after that, I think our defense played extremely well. Getting off the field on 3rd down and 4th down, like you alluded to. Like I said, when we needed to play, they were able to get there and either get a sack or a big stop or something good.
Despite the weather, the kicking game really came up big when you needed it. Elliot Pratt was able to flip the field a couple of times on a 56-yard punt, especially in that fourth quarter. And then Josh Lazaro, a big field goal in the fourth quarter to give the Bearcats the lead for good.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was a great job by Elliot. When we needed to change field position, he was able to do that. I think when it was a tie ball game in the middle of the fourth quarter, to have a guy like Josh Lazaro coming in there and making a key field goal to all of a sudden go up by 3 with, half of the fourth quarter gone already, I think was huge. And then, even at the end of the game, having a punt block / tackle, they bobbled the ball around a little bit on their punt. And Darnell Harris be able to come in there and make the tackle on a 4th down call, flip the field, and 2 plays later we score, and now we're up by 10, and those are definitely game changers.
Bearcats on a roll now, winning 4 of their last 5, getting to 4-4 overall, 2-2 in the conference, and you can kind of see the confidence build with each victory for McKendree.
I think so. I think the guys are kind of understanding that it's not just about the offense, it's not just about the defense, it's not just about special teams. Like, you really need all 3 to click. In order to win those games. And I think that's going to be important down the stretch. We've got some very, very tough opponents coming up in these next couple games, and we got to be able to play our best ball in November, and all of a sudden we're here.
One of those tough opponents comes up on Saturday when McKendree heads to Kirksville, Missouri to take on 25th ranked Truman State, and this is a team 7-1 on the year, pretty stout on both sides of the ball, special teams pretty solid as well, and a team that's really playing well with 2 victories against FCS opponents.
Yeah, I think Truman State, this is probably the best ball they've been playing, since I've been here. I think they're very well coached. I think they've got a tremendous team. I couldn't even tell you a position that they're down on right now. I think they do a lot of great things on offense. I think they've got a great quarterback, a great running back. More importantly, even some good old linemen to kind of complement them in the run game. They're going to grind it. They're going to force you to kind of play tough, physical, hard-nosed football. That's what they're about, and then defensively, it's the same thing. I think their strong suit is their defensive line. I think they've got some great defensive ends. On paper, they don't match up height-wise or whatever, but they are unbelievably physical. They get after you. I think that's their strong suit, and I think they don't make mistakes. They just do things right all the time, and I think that's why, when you're consistent, I think you're able to win a lot of football games.
Head coach Greg Nesbitt has built a veteran squad. It's a team that's very experienced, especially against McKendree coming in, and that's going to make it even a tougher task for the Bearcats.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at last year, it was another rain game like we had last week, and it was something where it was going to be a grind, and they were able to kind of grind it at the end and was able to come away with a victory. So, there's a lot to play for this week. I know they've got a chance to kind of run the table, and it's senior day for them. It's a home game, last home game for them. We're going on the road. At the end of the day, it's still all about us. Can we consistently do the right thing and execute at a high level? And that's what we're kind of looking for on Saturday.
What are the main focuses, not only on Saturday, but heading into these final 3 games for the Bearcats?
I said it earlier, play your best ball. Really as you're progressing through the season, you've got 3 games left. You really should be playing your best ball. You're doing the same things for the most part over and over and over again. And so, the consistency of it, and can you execute at a high level doing those things right all the time.
Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck on Saturday.
Appreciate it.
McKendree, Truman State, Saturday on the Bearcat Sports Network, 11:45 pregame show, 12 noon kickoff. Go to the McKendree schedule page at mckbearcats.com and find the Listen Live link.